Sword Art Online is a major letdown. The story is poorly written, and it just isn't enjoyable to sit through. If you're looking for something that's actually fun and exciting, I'd recommend checking out the Venom movie instead. It's packed with awesome action, cool fight scenes, and Tom Hardy does an amazing job in the lead role. Venom is way more entertaining and worth your time. In this video, we're going to take a look at why Venom is better than Sword Art Online. Let's start with a breakdown of the Venom trailer.
Thank you for bringing us collectively to this moment.
Tom Hardy's American accent in this trailer is actually pretty good. Also, this trailer does a good job setting everything up. This crashed spacecraft seems to be where the symbiotes come from. It's interesting to see the different symbiotes. This one seems to have a bluish tint. Perhaps that means there will be other symbiotes than Venom. It's fitting how this movie takes place in San Francisco. In the comics, San Francisco is where Eddie Brock is actually from. Pretty hilarious moment here. It's funny how the background music stopped abruptly when Eddie Brock spotted Jenny Slate's character. We actually saw Jenny Slate's character standing behind Carlton Drake earlier in the trailer. This trailer definitely does a great job keeping up the consistency. It's interesting how this symbiote seems to have a yellowish tint. Again, this means that there might be other symbiotes than Venom. Awesome fight scene here. It's cool to finally see Venom's powers in action. Very impressive voice acting for Venom. Apparently Tom Hardy is also the one who voices Venom. The Venom voice definitely sounds very menacing and intimidating. This is a pretty awesome chase sequence. It's interesting to see what the Venom tendrils are capable of. It's cool how this movie's tagline is "Embrace your inner anti-hero." It's nice how this isn't your typical superhero movie where the main character is a good guy. It's interesting how the trailer cut directly to Anne Wang when Eddie said, "Are you willing to sacrifice the one thing you hold most dear?" Perhaps Eddie will have to sacrifice Anne in the movie. Pretty epic moment here. Once again, it's interesting to see what the Venom tendrils are capable of. Some great CGI for Venom. He actually looks pretty scary. The poster for this movie looks pretty cool. It's actually pretty similar to a Spider-Man 2 poster. That was most likely intentional and meant to be a homage to that movie.
As you can see, Venom is packed with excitement and action. It's a blast to watch from start to finish, with plenty of fun moments that keep you hooked. The story moves quickly, and the fight scenes are intense, making it a movie that's hard to look away from. If you're into action-packed films with great performances, especially from Tom Hardy, Venom is a movie you won't want to miss. On the other hand, Sword Art Online is a real struggle to get through. The pacing feels all over the place, making it hard to stay interested, and the characters just aren't engaging. It's tough to care about what's happening because everything feels so slow and dull. Honestly, it's not worth your time. Skip SAO if you want something fun to watch. Venom really stands out because of its amazing visual effects, which do a fantastic job of bringing the character to life. The way Venom moves, fights, and transforms looks incredible on screen. You can see every detail, making the action scenes feel intense and real. The special effects help capture Venom's powerful and menacing look, making the character feel larger than life. It's one of the best parts of the movie and really adds to the overall experience. Sword Art Online suffers from really poor animation. The visuals just feel flat and lifeless, making the whole show look dull. There's nothing exciting or eye-catching about it, and the action scenes don't have the energy they should. Everything feels outdated and lacks detail, which makes it hard to stay engaged. Venom keeps you excited and wanting more. The story leaves you on the edge of your seat, making you look forward to what comes next. It does a great job of building up the action and teasing what could happen in future movies. By the time it ends, you're already anticipating the sequels, curious to see where the characters and story will go. It's one of those movies that leaves you pumped for more. Sword Art Online is the complete opposite. It fails to keep you interested, and by the time an episode ends, you couldn't care less about what happens next. The story drags, and the characters aren't engaging enough to make you want to see where things go. Instead of being excited for the next part, you're left feeling bored and disconnected. It just doesn't give you any reason to stick around. Venom has an awesome soundtrack that really grabs your attention, especially with the song by Eminem. The music gets your heart racing and makes the action even more exciting. It adds a lot of energy to the movie, keeping you pumped up throughout. On the other hand, the music in Sword Art Online is dull and uninteresting. It doesn't really add much to the story and can make some parts feel flat or boring. The difference in the soundtracks really affects the overall feel of both. If you're looking for another fantastic movie from the director of Venom, you should definitely check out Zombieland: Double Tap. It's a fun mix of comedy and action, just like Venom. The characters are funny and relatable, and the movie has some great moments that will keep you entertained. Plus, it's a great sequel that builds on the first film while still being enjoyable on its own. You won't want to miss it.
I wasn't very excited for Zombieland Double Tap, but it turned out to be pretty entertaining. I found the movie to be a nice blend of action, humor, and even even drama. Here's why I think Zombieland Double Tap is a really fun movie. This video will contain spoilers for Zombieland Double Tap, so make sure you watch that movie first before watching this video. Anyways, let's get started. First of all, the movie is very funny. I liked all the jokes and the pop culture references that they had. There were lots of references to other movies and TV shows, like Cinderella, Terminator, Thor, and The Simpsons. The writers of Zombieland Double Tap also wrote the screenplay for Deadpool and Deadpool 2, and the humor between the movies felt very similar. Furthermore, there was quite a lot of narration in the movie, which I normally find boring and lazy in most movies. However, I will say that the narration in this movie worked for me. It certainly enhanced the story and made it a lot more amusing. Overall, the narration helped you better understand Columbus's character and personality. Speaking of characters, something else I really liked about this movie is the characters. The returning cast of Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, and Abigail Breslin were fantastic. They all have different personalities, so it was amusing to see them clash and work everything out, kind of like a dysfunctional family. I also enjoyed the newcomers as well. Zoe Deutch, who plays Madison, was pretty hilarious, and she provided some nice comedic relief, since her character's personality is pretty much the polar opposite of the other characters. Moreover, Luke Wilson as Albuquerque and Thomas Middleditch as Flagstaff were also both extremely entertaining. It was quite comical to see the resemblance between their characters, and Woody Harrelson's Tallahassee and Jesse Eisenberg's Columbus. Honestly, it was sad to see them killed off so soon. I would have definitely liked to see them have some more screen time. My only complaint about the characters in the movie would be that Avon Jokia's character Berkeley and Rosario Dawson's character Nevada seemed a bit one-dimensional and underdeveloped. Compared to the other characters in this movie, their characters definitely felt generic and forgettable. They didn't really do anything to stand out. Additionally, I felt like there wasn't a single wasted moment in the movie, which makes sense because this movie is short, only about an hour and a half in total. It was fast-paced and never seemed dull or uninteresting. There was always something funny happening on screen to move the plot along. The story itself is also quite unique. Usually, zombie movies are part of the horror genre, but this is a comedy and not a horror movie, and we don't typically get a lot of zombie comedy movies, so this was a nice breath of fresh air. The movie didn't take itself very seriously, and you could tell that all the actors were having a great time. It was also interesting to see the different types of zombies in this movie. The Homer zombies were pretty hilarious. The final act with all the T-800 zombies was very exciting. It constantly kept you on the edge of your seat, and you were wondering if the characters were going to die or not since there were a lot of close calls. The visual effects didn't look half bad either. This movie only had a budget of $42 million, so I'm pretty sure that most of the zombie effects and stuff like that were all practical, but this certainly didn't feel like a cheaply made movie at all. The zombie kills were also really creative and imaginative. The scene where the guy uses the Leaning Tower of Pisa to kill a couple zombies was pretty hilarious. You would never expect to see that kind of thing ever happening. Lastly, the mid and end credit scene with Bill Murray were extremely funny. It was amusing and unexpected to see Bill Murray back, since he was killed in the previous Zombieland movie. Well, that's it for this video. What did you think of Zombieland Double Tap? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
If you're looking for another great Marvel movie from 2018, you should definitely check out Avengers: Infinity War. The action is intense, and the story keeps you on the edge of your seat as the heroes fight to save the universe. With its amazing special effects and memorable moments, Infinity War is a must-watch for any Marvel fan.
The narration at the beginning of the trailer here is pretty much the same exact speech that Nick Fury gave in the first Avengers movie. That's definitely a nice callback. It's cool how Black Widow is now blonde. In Captain America Civil War, Black Widow did help Captain America escape, so it makes sense that she would have to get a new identity and look. The text here is actually the same exact Avengers Initiative speech that Nick Fury gave in the first Avengers movie. Again, a nice callback. The Marvel intro logo here is definitely pretty epic and deserving of a merit. Josh Brolin's voice is perfect for Thanos. He definitely sounds very menacing. Whoa, that seems to be the same phone that Steve mailed to Tony at the end of Captain America Civil War. I've got to give a merit for the continuity. It's cool to finally see Peter Parker's Spidey sense. We didn't really get to see that in Spider-Man Homecoming. Impressive CGI for Thanos here. He definitely looks very intimidating and formidable. The new Spider-Man suit looks really awesome. It's nice to finally see it in action. It's cool to see the Hulkbuster armor again. We haven't seen that since Avengers Age of Ultron. The background music here is really epic. It definitely hypes up this entire trailer. The creatures being fought in the trailer seem to be the Outriders. In the comics, the Outriders were utilized by Thanos as scouts and foot soldiers. Whoa, that is brutal. All these fight scenes in the trailer have a lot of emotional impact because we're so attached to the characters. Another brutal scene. It seems like the threat of death will be apparent in the actual movie. It's cool how the Infinity Stones magically attach to the Infinity Gauntlet. That is definitely very brutal. The fight scenes in the actual movie are going to be pretty awesome. The shot here is really amazing. This trailer definitely does a great job hyping up the movie. I'm sure that lots of people are excited for the actual movie. It's cool how the movie's logo is the exact same color scheme as the Infinity Gauntlet. That's some nice attention to detail. Nice stinger at the end here. It's cool how the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be in this movie. They weren't in the previous Avengers movie. Also, it's cool to see Thor with an eye patch. It's nice how they kept up with the continuity from Thor Ragnarok. That's a nice reference to the comics. In the Infinity Gauntlet story, Thanos does just that. With a snap of his fingers, half of the universe is wiped away. Some very impressive CGI for Thanos. He definitely looks very menacing and intimidating. Tony Stark is pretty clever. It's cool to see him using all of his advantages. Wakanda looks very beautiful. The visual effects artist definitely did a great job creating Wakanda. Pretty hilarious moment here. Chris Pratt does a great job delivering his lines in this scene. Also, Spider-Man's new suit looks pretty awesome. It'll be cool to see it in action. It's fitting how they use the A from the Avengers logo as the A for April. Also, it's nice how they moved the movie's release up by a week. It was originally supposed to come out on May 4th. The Hulkbuster armor looks pretty awesome. It'll be cool to see it in action again. Thanos' armor looks pretty cool. This scene is pretty brutal. Perhaps Thanos is making Thor watch Loki die. Also, it's cool to see Thor with an eye patch. It's nice how they kept up with the continuity from Thor Ragnarok. Whoa, Thanos just crushed the Tesseract with just his bare hand. This trailer does a great job portraying Thanos' strength. This trailer has a lot of great action scenes. We only get to see a few small glimpses here, but I'm sure that the entire scenes will be pretty cool to watch. Also, the background music is pretty awesome. It definitely hypes up this entire trailer. The trailer does a great job making this a very brutal scene. It seems like Doctor Strange is being tortured by Ebony Maw.
I hope they remember you.
That line is very powerful. It goes to show that someone important is most likely going to die in the movie. Pretty epic moment here. It's cool how Captain America is holding off Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet with just his bare hands. Pretty hilarious moment here. It's funny how Peter thought that Doctor Strange was a made-up name. This scene is pretty awesome. It's cool to see Spider-Man's web-swinging abilities in action.